Listen to me right now, stop scrolling. What if I told you for just a moment? Because the next quarter you spend could be hiding a story that most people never notice. From the legendary South Carolina Palmetto State Quarter to the historic Indiana Crossroads of America, the powerful Wyoming Equality State, and the unforgettable National Park of American Samoa Bat Quarter, these modern U.S. quarters have become favorites among collectors for their history, unique designs, certified mint eras, and exceptional high-grade examples. In the next few minutes, you'll discover verified collector facts, fascinating history, authentic era varieties, and what makes these coins worth a closer look. Welcome to Ari Coins News, where every coin has a story, every detail matters, and your next great discovery could already be in your pocket. Let's begin. Coin number 1. Imagine reaching into your pocket for a quarter to pay for a coffee, only to realize you're holding a coin that celebrates one of America's most important states. The 2002 Indiana State Quarter may look like ordinary change, but behind its detailed design lies a remarkable story of statehood, transportation, innovation, and American pride. Released as part of the historic 50 State Quarters program, this coin quickly became one of the most recognized modern quarters ever produced. While millions entered circulation, collectors continue searching for outstanding examples, genuine mint eras, and beautifully preserved coins that stand out from the rest. The journey begins long before the coin was struck. Indiana officially became the 19th state of the United States on December 11, 1816. Located in the heart of the Midwest, Indiana earned the nickname Crossroads of America because of its extensive network of highways, railroads, and transportation routes connecting the eastern and western parts of the country. This strategic location helped transform Indiana into an important center for commerce, agriculture, manufacturing, and travel throughout American history. When the United States Mint launched the 50 State Quarters program in 1999, each state was invited to create a reverse design representing its unique identity. Indiana selected symbols that reflected both its history and its modern achievements. The result was a striking design featuring the outline of the state, a race car, and 19 stars. Together, these elements tell the story of Indiana's past, present, and national significance. At the center of the reverse is the map of Indiana, clearly identifying the state being honored. A race car speeds across the outline, recognizing Indiana's worldwide reputation in motorsports. The state is home to the famous Indianapolis Motor Speedway, one of the most celebrated racing venues in history. Although the coin does not depict a specific race or driver, the race car symbolizes Indiana's lasting connection to automotive innovation and competitive racing. Above the design appears the inscription Crossroads of America, a nickname officially associated with Indiana for generations. This phrase reflects more than highways and roads. It represents the state's role as a transportation hub where people, goods, and ideas have moved across the nation for more than a century. Millions of travelers pass through Indiana every year, reinforcing the meaning behind this well-known slogan. 19 stars surround the design, representing Indiana's position as the 19th state admitted to the Union. These stars are more than decorative artwork. They remind collectors of the state's admission to the United States in 1816 and its continuing contribution to the nation's development. The inscription, Indiana 1816, honors the year statehood was officially granted. The reverse also includes E pluribus unum and United States of America, along with the denomination quarter dollar. These familiar inscriptions connect the commemorative reverse to the long tradition of United States coinage while preserving the standard appearance of American circulating quarters. The obverse continues the classic portrait of George Washington, originally designed by John Flanagan and updated for the State Quarters program. Front of the coin displays Liberty, In God We Trust, the date 2002, and the P Mint mark, indicating production at the Philadelphia Mint. Washington's portrait provides continuity throughout the State Quarters series while allowing each reverse to celebrate a different state's identity. The Philadelphia Mint produced hundreds of millions of Indiana State Quarters during 2002. Because such a large number entered circulation, worn examples remain common today. However, collectors understand that mintage alone does not determine desirability. A coin's condition, strike quality, original mint luster, eye appeal, and the presence of authenticated mint errors often play a much larger role in collector demand than production totals. The 2002p Indiana quarter follows the standard specifications used for modern circulating quarters. It is composed of a copper core bonded to outer layers of copper and nickel, weighs approximately 5.67 grams, measures 24.26 millimeters in diameter, and features a reeded edge. These official mint specifications help collectors identify coins that have been altered or damaged after leaving the mint. Many people believe every state quarter is automatically valuable because it is commemorative. In reality, most circulated 2002p Indiana quarters remain worth only their face value. Their true importance lies in the history they represent and the possibility of finding exceptional mint state examples or genuine mint errors. Collectors especially appreciate coins with brilliant original luster, sharply defined details, and minimal contact marks, because these qualities become increasingly difficult to find after years of circulation. Another reason collectors search for this quarter is the possibility of discovering authentic mint errors created during production. Genuine mint errors occur during the manufacturing process and are entirely different from scratches, dents, corrosion, or damage caused after the coin entered circulation. Learning to recognize these differences is one of the most valuable skills in modern coin collecting, and it helps collectors focus on coins that have true numismatic significance rather than ordinary wear. As collectors study the 2002p Indiana state quarter more closely, they soon discover that the most desirable coins are not always the oldest ones. Modern coins can become highly collectible when they display exceptional preservation or genuine mint-made errors. Understanding how these errors occur helps separate authentic collectibles from ordinary circulation damage. One of the best-known mint errors is the off-center strike. This happens when the blank planchet is not correctly positioned between the dies before the coin is struck. Instead of receiving a perfectly centered design, part of the coin remains blank while the remaining design shifts toward one edge. Collectors generally prefer examples that still show the complete date, 2002, and the P mint mark because these details confirm the coin's identity. Dramatic off-center strikes are much less common than slight misalignments and usually attract greater collector interest. Another recognized production error is the struck-through error. During the striking process, grease, cloth fibers, metal shavings, or other foreign material may become trapped between the die and the planchet. As a result, parts of the design fail to strike normally, creating smooth or missing details. Each struck-through error is unique because the object responsible for the impression is different every time. A die crack develops after a working die has struck thousands of coins under tremendous pressure. Over time, repeated stress may cause the die to fracture. Coins struck afterward display thin raised lines corresponding to those cracks. Small die cracks are relatively common on modern coinage, while larger cracks extending across major design elements are less frequently encountered and often receive additional attention from specialists. A die clash occurs when the obverse and reverse dies strike one another without a planchet between them. This accidental contact transfers faint portions of one design onto the opposite die. Coins produced afterward may display unusual design fragments in areas where they normally should not appear. Proper lighting and magnification are often necessary to identify these subtle characteristics. A clipped planchet error begins before striking takes place. During blank production, the blanking press may overlap a previously punched section of the metal strip, leaving a curved portion missing from the unfinished planchet. After striking, the coin retains that distinctive clipped shape. Genuine clipped planchets show natural metal flow around the missing area, helping experts distinguish authentic mint errors from coins damaged after circulation. A broad strike error occurs when the retaining collar fails to hold the planchet in place during striking. Without the collar restricting expansion, the metal spreads farther outward than intended. The finished coin appears wider than normal and often has a less defined raised rim. These errors provide collectors with a fascinating look at the minting process. Another production variety occasionally encountered is an improperly annealed planchet. Before striking, Blank planchets are heated and cooled to soften the metal. If temperatures are inconsistent, the finished coin may display unusual gray, bluish, golden, or brown coloration. Because environmental exposure can produce similar colors, professional examination is recommended before identifying a coin as a genuine annealing error. Lamination errors result from imperfections within the metal strip before planchets are punched. Thin layers of metal may lift or separate from the coin's surface after striking. Since these flaws originated during metal preparation rather than circulation, they are considered legitimate mint-made errors when properly authenticated. Many people mistakenly believe that scratches, dents, stains, corrosion, flattened rims, or damage from tools are valuable mint errors. In reality, these conditions occurred after the coin entered circulation and are classified as post-mint damage. While they may appear unusual, they generally do not increase collector demand or market value. The condition of a coin often has a greater influence on its desirability than its age. Collectors carefully examine the original mint luster, strike quality, surface preservation, and overall eye appeal before deciding whether a coin deserves professional grading. Bright, untouched surfaces with minimal contact marks are usually preferred over heavily worn examples. When evaluating the reverse, collectors inspect the race car, the outline of Indiana, and the 19 stars. A strong strike should display crisp details throughout the design, with clear lettering and well-defined edges. On the obverse, Washington's portrait should retain sharp hair details, clean fields, and original luster if the coin has remained uncirculated. Most circulated 2002p Indiana state quarters remain worth face value because they were produced in large numbers. Uncirculated coins with attractive eye appeal generally command greater collector interest, while certified examples in exceptional mint state grades may realize considerably stronger prices than ordinary circulation pieces. Actual selling prices depend on certification, condition, eye appeal, rarity of any verified mint error, and current collector demand rather than a guaranteed value. Searching original bank rolls, estate collections, inherited coin albums, and forgotten jars of change continues to be one of the most enjoyable ways to discover well-preserved state quarters. Although remarkable finds are uncommon, careful examination and patience often reward collectors with attractive examples that have survived years of circulation with surprisingly little wear. Experienced collectors know that preserving a coin in its original condition is one of the most important factors in maintaining long-term collector appeal. A 2002p Indiana state quarter that still displays its original mint luster, clean surfaces, and sharp details is generally more desirable than one that has been cleaned or heavily circulated. Once the original surface has been altered, it can never be restored to its mint-issued appearance. Proper storage begins with careful handling. Coins should always be held by their edges to avoid fingerprints, skin oils, and accidental scratches. Many collectors store their quarters in archival quality coin holders, non-PVC flips, or hard plastic capsules designed specifically for long-term preservation. Keeping coins in a cool, dry environment away from excessive humidity and direct sunlight helps protect their original surfaces for years to come. Cleaning remains one of the biggest mistakes made by new collectors. Although a polished coin may appear brighter, abrasive cleaning permanently removes the original mint finish. Professional grading services can usually detect cleaned coins immediately, and collectors generally place greater value on coins that retain untouched, natural surfaces. Even gentle rubbing with a cloth can create fine hairline scratches that reduce a coin's eye appeal. Professional grading services examine coins using internationally recognized grading standards. A coin-graded good has experienced heavy circulation and considerable wear, while a fine example retains more visible design detail. Extremely fine coins show only light wear. About uncirculated pieces display slight friction on the highest points, and mint state coins have never entered circulation. Within the mint state category, higher grades indicate stronger luster, fewer contact marks, better strike quality, and superior overall eye appeal. Authentication becomes especially important when a collector discovers a coin that appears to have an unusual mint error or exceptional preservation. Third-party grading services verify authenticity, identify genuine mint-made errors, assign an official grade, and encapsulate the coin in a protective holder. Certified coins often inspire greater confidence among buyers because their authenticity and condition have been independently confirmed. The Indiana State Quarter also carries historical significance beyond its collectible value. The nickname Crossroads of America reflects Indiana's central role in connecting major transportation routes throughout the nation. Long before the modern interstate highway system, railroads, canals, and major roads helped transform Indiana into a vital link between the eastern and western United States. The coin celebrates that legacy in a simple but meaningful design. The race car featured on the reverse represents one of Indiana's best-known traditions. The Indianapolis Motor Speedway has become internationally recognized as one of the world's most famous racing venues, attracting fans and competitors from around the globe. By including a race car on the quarter, the United States Mint honored Indiana's lasting influence on motorsports while creating one of the most distinctive state quarter designs. Many collectors enjoy assembling complete sets of the 50 State Quarters program, which was issued between 1999 and 2008. The Indiana Quarter holds a special place within that series because of its instantly recognizable reverse design and its connection to both American transportation history and the state's 19th place admission to the Union. Completing the full State Quarter collection remains one of the most popular goals for modern coin collectors. Another common misconception is that every State Quarter found in circulation is automatically valuable. In reality, the vast majority of circulated examples remain worth their face value of 25 cents. Greater collector interest is generally reserved for coins with outstanding mint state preservation, certified high grades, or verified mint errors. Careful research is always more reliable than exaggerated claims found online. Collectors often search through bank rolls, inherited collections, estate sales, old coffee cans, piggy banks, desk drawers, and forgotten jars of spare change hopping to discover an overlooked treasure. While most finds are ordinary circulation pieces, occasional uncirculated examples with brilliant luster still appear after years of careful storage. These discoveries remind collectors that patience, knowledge, and attention to detail are often more rewarding than luck alone. The 2002 Indiana State Quarter remains one of the most memorable issues in the 50 State Quarters program because it combines history, transportation, innovation, and state pride in a single circulating coin. Whether preserved in a complete State Quarter collection or discovered in everyday pocket change, it continues to remind Americans of Indiana's important role in connecting a growing nation. Every coin tells a story, and the Indiana State Quarter tells the story of determination, progress, and the spirit of connection that helped shape the United States. For collectors, its greatest value is not simply measured in dollars, but in the history it preserves and the knowledge it inspires. If you enjoy learning about U.S. coins, verified mint errors, collector values, grading tips, auction highlights, and the fascinating history behind America's coinage, be sure to subscribe to RE Coins News. Every new video brings fresh collector discoveries, educational guides, and the latest numismatic updates. Thank you for watching, keep searching your pocket change, and happy collecting. Coin number 2. Have you ever wondered whether an ordinary State Quarter could preserve the spirit of an entire state in just a few inches of metal? The 2007 Wyoming State Quarter does exactly that. Found in pocket change, coin jars, bank rolls, and old collections across America, this quarter celebrates Wyoming's proud heritage, its independent spirit, and its unique place in United States history. While millions were struck for circulation, collectors continue searching for outstanding mint state examples, genuine mint errors, and beautifully preserved coins that stand apart from everyday circulation pieces. The story of this coin begins with the United States Mint's historic 50 State Quarters program, one of the most successful coin programs ever introduced in America. Beginning in 1999, each state received its own commemorative reverse design in the order it entered the Union. By the time Wyoming's turn arrived in 2007, millions of Americans had become interested in collecting modern quarters, transforming ordinary pocket change into an exciting treasure hunt. Wyoming officially became the 44th state on July 10, 1890. Long before statehood, the region was known for its vast open plains, towering mountain ranges, rich wildlife, and strong ranching traditions. The state's wide landscapes and independent culture earned it worldwide recognition as one of the true symbols of the American West. These qualities influenced the reverse design selected for the Wyoming State Quarter. At the center of the reverse stands a powerful bucking horse and rider, one of the best-known symbols associated with Wyoming. The silhouette has represented the state's ranching heritage for generations and reflects the hard-working spirit of cowboys, ranchers, and rodeo traditions that remain an important part of Wyoming's identity. Rather than depicting a single historical figure, the design honors generations of people who helped shape the state's Western character. Above the design appears the word Wyoming, while below is the date 1890, commemorating the year Wyoming joined the Union. Along the lower portion of the reverse is the famous nickname, the Equality State. This title recognizes Wyoming's remarkable role in American history. Even before becoming a state, Wyoming Territory granted women the right to vote in 1869, making it a national leader in expanding voting rights and equal civic participation. The reverse also includes United States of America, quarter dollar, and E pluribus unum, completing the official inscriptions required on circulating United States coinage. Together, these elements combine history, symbolism, and national identity into a design that is both simple and meaningful. The obverse features the familiar portrait of George Washington designed by John Flanagan. It includes the inscriptions Liberty, In God We Trust, the year 2007, and the D Mint mark, indicating production at the Denver Mint. Washington's portrait provided consistency throughout the 50-state quarters program while allowing each state to showcase its own unique reverse artwork. The Denver Mint produced hundreds of millions of Wyoming quarters during 2007 to satisfy nationwide circulation demand. Because of this substantial production, circulated examples remain common today. However, experienced collectors know that production numbers alone do not determine desirability. A coin's preservation, strike quality, original mint luster, eye appeal, and the presence of authenticated mint errors often have a much greater influence on collector interest. The 2007 D Wyoming State Quarter follows the standard specifications for modern circulating quarters. It consists of a pure copper core bonded between outer layers of copper and nickel, weighs approximately 5.67 grams, measures 24.26 millimeters in diameter, and features a reeded edge. These official mint specifications help specialists identify altered pieces or coins that have suffered damage after leaving the mint. One reason collectors appreciate this quarter is its artistic simplicity. The bucking horse and rider create a bold silhouette that is instantly recognizable even after moderate circulation. Unlike more detailed state quarter designs, Wyoming's reverse relies on clean lines and strong symbolism, making it one of the most memorable issues in the entire 50-state quarters series. Many beginning collectors assume every Wyoming state quarter is rare because of its distinctive design. In reality, most circulated 2007 D examples remain worth only face value. Their greatest importance lies in the history they represent and the opportunity to locate exceptional mint state specimens or genuine mint-made errors. High-grade examples displaying brilliant original luster, sharp details, and minimal contact marks become increasingly difficult to find after years of everyday use. Another reason collectors search for this coin is the possibility of discovering authentic mint errors created during production. True mint errors originate inside the mint during manufacturing and differ completely from scratches, dents, corrosion, or damage caused after the coin entered circulation. Understanding this difference is one of the most valuable skills in modern coin collecting, helping collectors recognize genuinely collectible pieces instead of ordinary worn coins. As collectors begin examining the 2007 D Wyoming State Quarter more closely, they quickly discover that the most exciting finds are not always the oldest coins. Modern quarters can become highly collectible when they display exceptional preservation, strong eye appeal, or authentic mint-made errors. Understanding how these production errors occur helps collectors separate genuine rarities from ordinary circulation damage. One of the best-known mint errors is the off-center strike. This occurs when the blank planchet is not perfectly positioned between the dies before the strike takes place. Instead of producing a centered design, part of the coin remains blank while the design shifts toward one edge. Collectors generally prefer examples that still display the complete date, 2007, and the D mint mark because these details confirm the coin's identity. The more dramatic the off-center strike, while still retaining the date, the greater the collector interest is often likely to be. Another fascinating production error is the struck-through error. During striking, grease, cloth fibers, metal fragments, or other foreign material may become trapped between the die and the planchet. The pressure of the strike leaves an area where part of the design appears weak or missing. Every genuine struck-through error is unique because the material causing the impression is different each time, making no two examples exactly alike. Collectors also watch for die cracks, which develop after a working die strikes thousands of coins under tremendous pressure. Over time, the steel die may begin to fracture, producing raised lines on every coin struck afterward. Small die cracks are relatively common on modern coins, while large cracks extending through major design elements are much less frequently encountered and usually attract greater attention from specialists. Another collectible production variety is the die clash. This happens when the obverse and reverse dies strike one another without a blank planchet between them. The impact transfers faint portions of one design onto the opposite die. Future coins struck by those dies may display unusual design fragments in places where they normally should not appear. These subtle characteristics often require magnification and proper lighting to identify accurately. A clipped planchet error originates before the coin is even struck. During the blanking process, the machine punching coin blanks may overlap a previously punched section of the metal strip, leaving a curved piece missing from the unfinished planchet. Once struck, the coin retains this distinctive clipped shape. Specialists examine the edge carefully for natural metal flow to verify that the clip occurred during mint production rather than after circulation. A broad strike occurs when the retaining collar fails during the striking process. Without the collar holding the planchet in place, the metal spreads farther than intended. The resulting coin appears slightly larger in diameter, with a broader appearance and a weaker or incomplete raised rim. These errors clearly demonstrate the importance of the collar in creating the finished shape of a United States quarter. Occasionally, collectors encounter coins struck on improperly annealed planchets. Before striking, planchets are heated and cooled to soften the metal. If this process is inconsistent, unusual gray, bluish, golden, or brown coloration may appear on the finished coin. Because similar colors can develop naturally through environmental exposure, professional examination is recommended before identifying a coin as a genuine annealing error. Another legitimate production error is a lamination error. This occurs when impurities or bonding problems exist within the metal strip before blank planchets are produced. Thin layers of metal may separate or peel from the coin's surface after striking. Since these flaws originated during manufacturing rather than circulation, they are recognized as authentic mint-made errors when properly authenticated. Many people mistake scratches, dents, corrosion, stains, or damage from tools for valuable mint errors. In reality, these conditions occurred after the coin entered circulation and are classified as post-mint damage. Although such coins may appear unusual, they generally do not carry additional collector value. Learning to distinguish true production errors from ordinary wear is one of the most valuable skills a collector can develop. The condition of a coin often has a greater influence on collector demand than its age. Collectors examine the original mint luster, strike quality, surface preservation, and overall eye appeal before deciding whether a coin deserves professional grading. Bright, untouched surfaces with minimal contact marks are generally more desirable than heavily circulated examples. When evaluating the reverse, collectors pay close attention to the bucking horse and rider. Strong strikes display crisp outlines, bold lettering, and clean fields surrounding the design. On the obverse, Washington's portrait should show clear hair detail, sharp lettering, and uninterrupted mint luster if the coin has remained in uncirculated condition. Most circulated 2007 Wyoming state quarters remain worth only face value because they were produced in large numbers. Uncirculated examples with excellent eye appeal usually attract greater collector interest, while certified coins in exceptional mint state grades and authenticated major mint eras may sell for higher prices depending on current market demand, rarity, and overall quality. No specific value is guaranteed, as prices change over time and vary by condition and buyer interest. Collectors continue searching through original bank rolls, estate collections, inherited albums, coffee cans, piggy banks, and forgotten jars of spare change hopping to discover outstanding examples. While remarkable finds are uncommon, patience, careful observation, and knowledge of genuine mint eras greatly increase the chances of recognizing a truly collectible Wyoming state quarter when one appears. Experienced collectors understand that finding an attractive coin is only the beginning. Preserving it correctly is what protects its long-term collector appeal. A 2007 Wyoming state quarter that still displays original mint luster, sharp details, and untouched surfaces is generally more desirable than one that has been cleaned or improperly stored. Once a coin's original surface is altered, it cannot be restored to its mint-issued condition. Proper handling is essential. Collectors recommend touching coins only by their edges to avoid fingerprints and natural skin oils. Even a small fingerprint can permanently affect an uncirculated coin over time. For long-term storage, archival quality holders, non-PVC flips, or hard plastic capsules help protect the coin from moisture, dust, scratches, and environmental damage. Good storage habits preserve both appearance and collector confidence. Cleaning is one of the most common mistakes made by beginning collectors. A bright, polished coin may seem attractive, but abrasive cleaning removes the original mint finish and often leaves fine hairline scratches. Professional grading services can usually recognize cleaned coins immediately, and collectors generally prefer examples that retain completely original surfaces rather than artificially brightened ones. Professional grading plays an important role in today's coin market. Coins are evaluated according to internationally recognized standards, ranging from heavily circulated examples to mint state coins that have never entered circulation. Within the mint state category, higher grades reflect stronger luster, cleaner surfaces, fewer contact marks, sharper strikes, and better overall eye appeal. These characteristics often influence collector demand more than age alone. Authentication is especially valuable when a coin appears to display a significant mint era or unusually high quality. Independent grading services examine the coin for authenticity, verify genuine mint-made errors, assign an official grade, and encapsulate it in a tamper-evident holder. Certification provides greater confidence for both collectors and buyers because the coin has been professionally evaluated. The phrase, "the equality state," gives this quarter a special place in American history. Wyoming earned this nickname because it became a national leader in expanding women's voting rights long before many other parts of the country. That achievement remains one of the defining moments in the state's history and explains why the nickname was chosen for the reverse design, instead of focusing solely on geography or wildlife. The bucking horse and rider have become one of Wyoming's most recognizable symbols. For generations, this image has represented independence, determination, and the ranching traditions of the American West. Its simple yet powerful appearance makes the Wyoming state quarter one of the easiest state quarters to recognize even at a quick glance, adding to its popularity among modern collectors. Many collectors enjoy assembling the complete 50 state quarters program, and the Wyoming issue remains an important part of that collection. Together, the series tells the story of every state through carefully selected designs celebrating history, culture, landmarks, and achievements. The Wyoming quarter contributes a distinctive Western identity that stands apart from many of the other state designs. One misconception often repeated online is that every Wyoming quarter is automatically worth hundreds or thousands of dollars. In reality, the vast majority of circulated examples remain worth only face value. Greater collector interest is generally reserved for certified high-grade coins, authenticated major mint errors, or exceptionally well-preserved examples. Reliable research and careful examination are always more valuable than sensational internet claims. Collectors continue searching through bank rolls, inherited collections, estate sales, coffee cans, desk drawers, piggy banks, and forgotten jars of spare change, hopping to discover an overlooked treasure. Although remarkable discoveries are uncommon, every search provides valuable experience and a deeper appreciation for American coinage. Sometimes the greatest reward is not finding an expensive coin, but learning the history preserved within an ordinary quarter. The 2007 Wyoming State Quarter remains one of the most memorable issues in the 50 State Quarters program because it combines state pride, Western heritage, and an important message about equality into a single circulating coin. Whether found in everyday change or preserved in a high-quality collection, it continues to remind collectors that every coin carries a story far beyond its face value. Coin number 3. Sometimes the most unforgettable coin designs are not the ones that feature famous presidents, monuments, or historic buildings. Instead, they capture a quiet moment from nature that tells a much deeper story. The 2020 National Park of American Samoa Quarter is one of those remarkable coins. At first glance, the image of a mother fruit bat hanging upside down with her young may seem unusual, but every detail was chosen for a reason. This quarter celebrates family, protection, cultural tradition, and one of America's most unique national parks. While millions were released into circulation, collectors continue searching for exceptional mint state examples, authenticated mint errors, and beautifully preserved coins that showcase this extraordinary design. The story begins with the America the Beautiful Quarters program, introduced by the United States Mint in 2010. Unlike earlier quarter programs that honored individual states, this series celebrated nationally significant parks, forests, monuments, historic sites, and protected landscapes throughout the United States and its territories. Each release highlighted a location with cultural, environmental, or historical importance, allowing millions of Americans to discover remarkable places simply by examining their everyday pocket change. The 2020 National Park of American Samoa Quarter honors one of the most remote and distinctive units of the national park system. Located in the South Pacific Ocean, American Samoa is the only U.S. territory south of the equator. The National Park of American Samoa protects tropical rainforests, volcanic mountains, coral reefs, and coastal ecosystems that support wildlife found nowhere else in the United States. Its extraordinary biodiversity makes it one of the most fascinating parks represented in the America the Beautiful series. Rather than selecting a scenic landscape, the United States Mint chose a design centered on the Samoan fruit bat, also known as the flying fox. The reverse features an adult bat hanging upside down while carefully holding its pup. This image immediately captured attention because it was unlike any previous United States circulating coin. Instead of emphasizing dramatic scenery, the design focused on the bond between parent and offspring, highlighting themes of care, protection, and survival. The Samoan fruit bat holds deep cultural meaning within American Samoa. Local traditions view the bat as a symbol of wisdom, family responsibility, and guardianship. By portraying a mother protecting her young, the coin celebrates values that extend beyond wildlife conservation. It reflects the importance of family connections that remain central to Samoan culture and community life. Surrounding the reverse are the inscriptions National Park, American Samoa, 2020, E Pluribus Unum, and United States of America. The denomination $quarter completes the reverse design. Every inscription was carefully positioned to balance the detailed artwork while maintaining the familiar appearance expected of a United States quarter. The obverse continues to feature the modern portrait of George Washington introduced during the America the Beautiful series. It includes the inscriptions Liberty, In God We Trust, the date 2020, and the D-Mint mark identifying production at the Denver Mint. This updated portrait provided continuity throughout the series while allowing each reverse to showcase a unique national site. The Denver Mint produced millions of these quarters for circulation across the United States. Because of the large production, circulated examples remain readily available today. However, experienced collectors understand that production numbers alone do not determine collector appeal. Coins with strong original luster, sharp strikes, clean surfaces, and exceptional preservation become increasingly desirable after years of circulation. The 2020 D National Park of American Samoa quarter follows the standard specifications for modern circulating quarters. It has a pure copper core bonded between outer layers of copper and nickel, weighs approximately 5.67 grams, measures 24.26 millimeters in diameter, and features a reeded edge. These official specifications help specialists identify altered or damaged coins and confirm authenticity when evaluating unusual pieces. Many people mistakenly believe that every quarter featuring an unusual design is automatically valuable. In reality, most circulated 2020 D American Samoa quarters remain worth only face value. Their importance lies in the remarkable story they tell and the opportunity they provide collectors to locate exceptional mint state examples or authenticated mint errors. Coins displaying brilliant original luster, strong eye appeal, and minimal contact marks are significantly more desirable than ordinary circulation pieces. Another reason collectors search for this issue is the possibility of discovering genuine mint errors created during production. Authentic mint errors originate during the manufacturing process inside the mint and are entirely different from scratches, dents, corrosion, or other damage that occurs after the coin enters circulation. Learning to recognize this difference is one of the most valuable skills in modern numismatics and helps collectors identify coins with true collectible significance rather than ordinary wear. Beyond its collector appeal, the National Park of American Samoa quarter reminds us that United States coinage can celebrate more than politics or architecture. It can honor wildlife, culture, conservation, and the responsibility of protecting future generations. The mother bat sheltering her pup transforms an everyday quarter into a lasting symbol of care, resilience, and the natural beauty preserved within one of America's most extraordinary national parks. As interest in the 2020 D National Park of American Samoa quarter continues to grow, collectors often ask the same question: could an ordinary-looking quarter from pocket change actually be worth keeping? The answer depends on one important factor: understanding the difference between a normal circulation coin, a genuine mint error, and damage that occurred after the coin left the mint. Careful examination and accurate identification are essential because not every unusual mark increases collector value. One of the most recognized production errors is the off-center strike. This occurs when the blank planchet is not correctly positioned between the dies before the coin is struck. Instead of producing a perfectly centered design, part of the coin remains blank while the image shifts toward one side. Collectors usually prefer examples that still display the complete date 2020 and the D mint mark, since these details help confirm the coin's identity. Dramatic off-center strikes are considerably less common than minor alignment issues. Another genuine mint error is the struck-through error. During production, a small amount of grease, metal fragments, cloth fibers, or other foreign material may become trapped between the die and the planchet. When the coin is struck, the affected area receives less detail, creating a smooth or missing section of the design. Every struck-through error is unique because the material involved is never exactly the same. Collectors also watch for die cracks, which form after a working die has struck thousands of coins under tremendous pressure. As the die begins to wear, small fractures may develop. Coins struck afterward display raised lines corresponding to those cracks. Minor die cracks are not unusual on modern coinage, while larger cracks extending through major design elements are encountered less frequently and often receive additional attention from specialists. A die clash occurs when the obverse and reverse dies strike one another without a planchet between them. This accidental contact transfers faint portions of one design onto the opposite die. Later coins struck by those dies may display unusual design fragments in unexpected locations. These subtle characteristics often require magnification and proper lighting to identify correctly. Another collectible production error is the clipped planchet. Before striking begins, blank planchets are punched from long strips of metal. If the punching process overlaps a previously cut section, a curved portion of the planchet is missing before the coin is struck. The finished coin retains that distinctive clip, and specialists examine the edge for natural metal flow to verify that it originated during mint production. A broad strike happens when the retaining collar fails to hold the planchet in place during striking. Without the collar restricting expansion, the metal spreads farther outward than intended. The finished quarter appears slightly larger than normal and often lacks a fully formed raised rim. Broad strike errors clearly demonstrate how important the collar is in creating the coin's final shape. Occasionally, collectors encounter coins struck on improperly annealed planchets. Before striking, planchets are heated and cooled to soften the metal. If this process is inconsistent, unusual gray, bluish, gold, or brown coloration may appear. Since similar colors can also develop through environmental exposure, professional examination is recommended before identifying such pieces as genuine annealing errors. Another authentic production variety is the lamination error. During the manufacturing of the metal strip, impurities or bonding problems may develop within the layers of metal. After striking, thin sections of the surface may lift, peel, or separate from the coin. Because these flaws originated during production rather than circulation, authenticated examples are recognized as legitimate mint-made errors. Many coins found in circulation display scratches, stains, corrosion, dents, flattened rims, or damage caused by machinery outside the mint. Although these marks may appear unusual, they are considered post-mint damage and generally do not increase collector value. Learning to distinguish genuine mint errors from everyday wear is one of the most important skills a collector can develop. The condition of the 2020D American Samoa quarter also plays a significant role in collector demand. Collectors carefully examine the original mint luster, strike quality, surface preservation, and overall eye appeal. On the reverse, attention is focused on the fine details of the mother bat and her pup, especially the facial features, wings, and fur texture. On the obverse, Washington's portrait should display sharp detail, clean fields, and uninterrupted luster if the coin has remained in mint state condition. Most circulated 2020D National Park of American Samoa quarters remain worth their face value because they were produced in large numbers. However, uncirculated examples with exceptional eye appeal, certified high mint state grades, or authenticated major mint errors may command stronger collector interest. Actual selling prices vary over time depending on certification, rarity, condition, and market demand rather than any fixed or guaranteed value. Collectors continue searching through original bank rolls, mint sets, estate collections, inherited albums, coffee cans, piggy banks, and jars of spare change, hoping to discover outstanding examples. While spectacular finds are uncommon, patience, knowledge, and careful observation often reward collectors with coins that deserve a closer look and may become treasured additions to a collection. Experienced collectors know that discovering an attractive coin is only the beginning of the journey. Preserving its original condition is what helps maintain long-term collector appeal. A 2020D National Park of American Samoa quarter with bright original mint luster, sharp details, and untouched surfaces is generally more desirable than one that has been cleaned or improperly stored. Once the original mint finish has been altered, it cannot be restored. Proper handling is one of the simplest but most important habits in coin collecting. Collectors recommend holding coins only by their edges to prevent fingerprints and natural skin oils from reaching the surfaces. Even a single fingerprint can permanently affect an uncirculated coin over time. For long-term protection, many collectors use archival quality holders, non-PVC flips, hard plastic capsules, or professionally designed coin albums that shield coins from moisture, dust, and accidental scratches. Cleaning is one of the most common reasons modern coins lose collector appeal. While a polished quarter may appear brighter, abrasive cleaning removes the original mint surface and often leaves tiny hairline scratches visible under magnification. Professional grading services can usually recognize cleaned coins immediately, and collectors generally prefer examples that remain completely original rather than artificially brightened. Professional grading has become an important part of modern numismatics. Coins are evaluated according to internationally recognized grading standards, ranging from heavily circulated examples to mint-state coins that have never entered circulation. Within the mint-state range, higher grades indicate stronger luster, fewer contact marks, sharper strikes, and better overall eye appeal. These qualities often influence collector demand more than age alone. Authentication is especially valuable when a coin appears to display an unusual production error or exceptional preservation. Independent grading services examine the coin for authenticity, identify genuine mint-made errors when present, assign an official grade, and encapsulate the coin in a protective holder. Certification gives collectors greater confidence because the coin has been professionally evaluated according to accepted standards. One of the reasons this quarter stands out is its remarkable reverse design. Unlike many United States coins that feature monuments, government buildings, or famous historical figures, the National Park of American Samoa quarter focuses on wildlife and family. The image of the mother fruit bat protecting her pup symbolizes care, responsibility, and the passing of knowledge from one generation to the next. It is one of the few circulating United States coins to place such a strong emphasis on family relationships within the natural world. The National Park of American Samoa itself is unlike any other national park in the United States. Located across 3 islands in the South Pacific, it protects tropical rainforests, volcanic landscapes, coral reefs, and native wildlife found nowhere else in the country. The park also works closely with local communities to preserve Samoan traditions while protecting important natural habitats. This unique partnership between conservation and culture is reflected in the symbolism chosen for the quarter. Many collectors appreciate this issue because it reminds them that modern coinage can educate as well as commemorate. Every time this quarter changes hands, it introduces people to a remarkable U.S. territory and a national park that many Americans may never have the opportunity to visit. In that way, the coin serves as both a collectible and a small educational ambassador. A common misconception found online is that every 2020D American Samoa quarter featuring the bat design is automatically worth hundreds or thousands of dollars. In reality, most circulated examples remain worth their face value of 25 cents. Greater collector demand is generally focused on coins with exceptional mint state preservation, authenticated major mint errors, or outstanding eye appeal. Research, patience, and careful examination remain far more reliable than sensational claims. Collectors continue searching through bank rolls, mint sets, inherited collections, estate sales, coffee cans, piggy banks, desk drawers, and forgotten jars of change hopping to uncover a beautifully preserved example. While remarkable discoveries are uncommon, every search helps build experience and a deeper understanding of how coins are made, graded, and collected. Sometimes the greatest reward is not finding a rare coin, but learning to recognize quality when it appears. The 2020D National Park of American Samoa quarter remains one of the most distinctive designs in the America the Beautiful Quarters program. Its combination of wildlife, conservation, cultural heritage, and artistic simplicity has earned it a lasting place in modern United States coin collecting. Whether preserved in a high-grade collection or discovered in everyday pocket change, it reminds collectors that even the smallest coins can tell extraordinary stories. Coin number 4. Every collector remembers the moment an ordinary quarter suddenly becomes extraordinary. The 2000D South Carolina State Quarter is one of those coins that often hides in pocket change, old coffee cans, piggy banks, forgotten bank rolls, and family coin jars, waiting for someone to notice its remarkable story. At first glance, it appears to be just another Washington quarter, but a closer look reveals a design filled with history, state pride, natural beauty, and symbols that have represented South Carolina for generations. While millions entered circulation, collectors continue searching for exceptional mint state examples, genuine mint errors, and beautifully preserved coins that stand apart from everyday change. The story begins with the United States Mint's historic 50-state quarters program, launched in 1999 to celebrate every state in the order it entered the Union. The program quickly became one of the most successful coin-collecting initiatives in American history. Millions of people who had never collected coins before suddenly began checking every quarter they received, hoping to complete a full set while learning about the history and identity of each state. South Carolina became the 8th state to join the United States on May 23, 1788. Rich in colonial history, Revolutionary War landmarks, agriculture, and coastal beauty, the state has played an important role in shaping the nation's history. Rather than selecting a single monument or famous building, South Carolina chose several meaningful symbols that together represent the state's heritage, landscape, and natural environment. At the center of the reverse appears the unmistakable outline of South Carolina. Inside the state outline are 3 carefully selected symbols that reflect the state's identity. The Carolina wren, the official state bird, represents resilience, energy, and the rich wildlife found throughout the region. Nearby blooms the yellow jessamine, the official state flower, recognized for its bright golden blossoms that appear each spring across forests and countryside. Completing the design is the graceful sable palmetto, the official state tree and one of South Carolina's most recognizable historic symbols. Above these images appears the inscription South Carolina, while beneath them is the year 1788, commemorating the state's admission to the Union. Across the reverse is the famous nickname, the Palmetto State, honoring the palmetto tree that became a lasting symbol of South Carolina after the successful defense of Fort Sullivan during the American Revolutionary War. Palmetto logs absorbed the impact of British cannon fire, turning the tree into a powerful emblem of strength and perseverance that remains part of the state's identity today. The reverse also includes United States of America, quarter dollar, and E pluribus unum, maintaining the traditional inscriptions found on circulating United States coinage. Together, these elements combine history, nature, and state pride into one of the most elegant designs released during the early years of the 50-state quarters program. The obverse features the familiar portrait of George Washington designed by John Flanagan. It displays liberty, in God we trust, the year 2000, and the D Mint mark, identifying production at the Denver Mint. Washington's portrait provided consistency throughout the series while allowing each state's reverse to tell its own unique story. The Denver Mint produced hundreds of millions of South Carolina quarters during 2000 for nationwide circulation. Because of this large production, circulated examples remain common today. However, experienced collectors know that mintage alone does not determine collector demand. Coins with outstanding original luster, sharp strike quality, minimal contact marks, and exceptional eye appeal become increasingly difficult to locate after years of circulation. The 2000D South Carolina quarter follows the standard specifications for modern circulating Washington quarters. It consists of a pure copper core bonded between outer layers of copper and nickel, weighs approximately 5.67 grams, measures 24.26 millimeters in diameter, and features a reeded edge. These official mint specifications help specialists authenticate coins and identify pieces that may have been altered after leaving the mint. Many beginning collectors assume that every state quarter is automatically valuable because it features a commemorative design. In reality, most circulated 2000D South Carolina quarters remain worth face value. Their greatest significance lies in the history they preserve and the opportunity they provide collectors to locate exceptional mint state examples or authenticated mint errors. Coins displaying brilliant original mint luster, crisp details, and clean surfaces are significantly more desirable than ordinary circulation pieces. Another reason collectors carefully examine this quarter is the possibility of discovering genuine mint errors created during production. Authentic mint errors originate during the manufacturing process inside the United States Mint and are completely different from scratches, dents, corrosion, or damage caused after the coin enters circulation. Learning to recognize these differences is one of the most valuable skills in modern coin collecting and allows enthusiasts to distinguish truly collectible pieces from ordinary worn coins. Beyond its collectible appeal, the South Carolina State Quarter tells a story of resilience, natural beauty, and historical pride. Every design element, from the Carolina wren and yellow jessamine to the sable palmetto and the outline of the state, was carefully selected to represent South Carolina's unique identity. More than 2 decades after its release, the coin continues to remind collectors that even an everyday quarter can preserve centuries of American history in the palm of a hand. As collectors continue examining the 2000 South Carolina State Quarter, they quickly realize that the most exciting discoveries are rarely based on age alone. A coin's condition, eye appeal, strike quality, and the presence of a genuine mint-made era often determine whether it attracts serious collector interest. Learning how these production errors occur is one of the first steps toward recognizing a truly collectible quarter. One of the most recognizable mint errors is the off-center strike. This occurs when the blank planchet is not perfectly aligned between the dies before the coin is struck. Instead of producing a centered image, the design shifts toward one side, leaving part of the coin blank. Collectors generally prefer examples that still display the complete date 2000 and the D mint mark because these details confirm the coin's identity. Dramatic off-center strikes are much less common than slight misalignments and usually attract stronger collector interest. Another verified production error is the struck-through error. During the striking process, grease, metal shavings, cloth fibers, or other foreign material can become trapped between the die and the planchet. When the strike occurs, the affected area receives less detail, leaving a smooth or missing section of the design. Since the material causing the error is different each time, every genuine struck-through example is unique. Collectors also search for die cracks, which develop after a working die strikes thousands of coins under tremendous pressure. As the die begins to wear, tiny fractures may form. Coins struck afterward display thin raised lines that follow the path of those cracks. Minor die cracks are found on many modern coins, while larger cracks crossing important design elements are less common and often receive greater attention from specialists. A die clash happens when the obverse and reverse dies strike one another without a planchet between them. This unexpected contact transfers faint portions of each design onto the opposite die. Future coins struck by those dies may display unusual design fragments in locations where they normally do not belong. These subtle characteristics often require magnification and proper lighting to identify correctly. Another authentic mint error is the clipped planchet. Before striking begins, blank planchets are punched from long strips of metal. If the punching press overlaps a previously cut section, part of the blank is missing before it reaches the coining press. The finished quarter retains that curved missing section. Specialists examine the clipped area for natural metal flow to confirm that the clip occurred during mint production rather than after circulation. A broad strike occurs when the retaining collar fails during the striking process. Without the collar holding the planchet in place, the metal spreads farther outward than intended. The resulting coin appears slightly larger than normal and often has a weaker or incomplete raised rim. Broad strikes are fascinating because they clearly demonstrate how important the collar is in producing the finished shape of a quarter. Occasionally, collectors encounter quarters struck on improperly annealed planchets. Before striking, blank planchets are heated and cooled to soften the metal. If this process is inconsistent, unusual gray, bluish, golden, or brown coloration may appear on the finished coin. Because environmental exposure can create similar colors, professional examination is recommended before identifying these pieces as genuine annealing errors. Another collectible production variety is the lamination error. During the manufacture of the metal strip, impurities or bonding problems may develop within the layers of metal. After striking, thin sections of the surface may lift, peel, or separate from the coin. Since these flaws originated during production rather than circulation, authenticated examples are recognized as legitimate mint-made errors. Many people mistake scratches, dents, corrosion, stains, flattened rims, or machine damage for valuable mint errors. These conditions occurred after the coin entered circulation and are considered post-mint damage. Although they may appear unusual, they generally do not increase collector value. Knowing how to distinguish true mint errors from everyday wear helps collectors avoid costly mistakes. The condition of the 2000D South Carolina quarter plays a major role in collector demand. Collectors evaluate original mint luster, strike quality, surface preservation, and overall eye appeal before deciding whether a coin deserves professional grading. Bright, untouched surfaces with minimal contact marks are generally preferred over heavily worn examples. When examining the reverse, collectors pay close attention to the Carolina wren, the yellow jessamine, the sable palmetto, and the outline of South Carolina. Strong strikes display crisp feather details, well-defined leaves, sharp flower petals, and clear lettering. On the obverse, Washington's portrait should show sharp hair detail, clean fields, and uninterrupted original luster if the coin has remained in uncirculated condition. Most circulated 2000D South Carolina state quarters remain worth only face value because they were produced in very large numbers. Uncirculated examples with excellent eye appeal generally receive stronger collector interest, while certified coins in exceptional mint state grades and authenticated major mint errors may command higher prices depending on rarity, condition, certification, and current market demand. Actual values change over time and are never guaranteed. Collectors continue searching through original bank rolls, estate collections, inherited albums, coffee cans, piggy banks, desk drawers, and jars of spare change, hoping to uncover an overlooked treasure. Although spectacular discoveries are uncommon, careful study, patience, and an understanding of grading and genuine mint errors greatly improve the chances of recognizing a truly collectible South Carolina state quarter when one appears. Experienced collectors understand that preserving a coin is just as important as finding one. A 2000D South Carolina state quarter that still displays its original mint luster, crisp details, and untouched surfaces is generally more appealing than a coin that has been cleaned or improperly stored. Once the original mint finish has been altered, it cannot be restored, making proper care one of the most valuable habits in coin collecting. The safest way to handle a collectible coin is by holding it only along the edges. Natural skin oils and fingerprints can leave permanent marks over time, especially on uncirculated coins. Many collectors use cotton gloves when examining high-grade examples, while others carefully place their coins into archival quality holders, hard plastic capsules, or non-PVC flips to protect them from moisture, dust, scratches, and environmental damage. Cleaning remains one of the most common mistakes made by beginning collectors. Although a polished coin may appear brighter, abrasive cleaning removes the original mint surface and often creates fine hairline scratches that reduce collector appeal. Professional grading services can usually identify cleaned coins immediately, and untouched original surfaces are almost always preferred by experienced collectors. Professional grading has become an essential part of today's numismatic market. Independent grading companies examine a coin's authenticity, strike quality, surface preservation, luster, eye appeal, and overall condition before assigning an official grade. Coins in higher mint state grades are generally much more difficult to locate because even tiny contact marks from handling or storage can lower a grade. Authentication is especially important when a collector discovers a coin that appears to have an unusual mint error. Certified grading services verify whether the error occurred during production, identify the specific error type, assign an official grade, and seal the coin in a protective holder. Certification provides confidence for both collectors and future buyers because the coin has been evaluated according to recognized industry standards. The reverse design of the South Carolina quarter is admired for combining several state symbols into one balanced composition. The Carolina wren, known for its energetic song, represents the state's rich birdlife. The yellow jessamine, with its bright golden flowers, symbolizes the natural beauty found throughout South Carolina. The sable palmetto, standing proudly beside the state outline, honors both the state's nickname and an important chapter of Revolutionary War history. The inscription, the Palmetto State, reflects one of South Carolina's most enduring historical symbols. During the defense of Fort Sullivan in 1776, walls built with palmetto logs helped absorb British cannon fire. That remarkable event turned the palmetto tree into a lasting symbol of strength, resilience, and state pride. Today, the tree appears not only on the quarter, but also on the South Carolina state flag. Collectors often consider this quarter one of the most attractive designs released during the early years of the 50 State Quarters program because it successfully combines history, wildlife, and botanical symbolism without overcrowding the reverse. Its elegant layout continues to make it a favorite among collectors assembling complete state quarter collections. A common misconception repeated online is that every 2000D South Carolina quarter is automatically worth hundreds or thousands of dollars. In reality, most circulated examples remain worth their face value of 25 cents. Greater collector demand is generally focused on coins with exceptional mint state preservation, authenticated major mint eras, or certified high grades. Reliable research and careful examination are always more valuable than exaggerated claims. Collectors continue searching through bank rolls, inherited collections, estate sales, old coffee cans, piggy banks, desk drawers, and forgotten jars of spare change, hoping to discover an overlooked treasure. While remarkable finds are uncommon, each search builds experience and deepens an appreciation for American coinage. Sometimes the greatest reward is not finding an expensive coin, but recognizing the history and craftsmanship behind an ordinary-looking quarter. More than 2 decades after its release, the 2000D South Carolina State Quarter remains an important part of the 50 State Quarters program. It preserves the story of a state known for its natural beauty, historic resilience, and rich cultural heritage. Whether discovered in everyday circulation or carefully preserved in a collector's album, it continues to remind us that every coin carries a story waiting to be explored. Thank you for watching RE Coins News. If you enjoy detailed coin history, verified mint eras, collector values, grading guides, auction highlights, and the latest numismatic discoveries, be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a new upload. Every week we explore remarkable coins from the United States and around the world, separating verified collector facts from online myths. Until next time, keep searching your pocket change, protect your collection, and remember, the next great discovery could already be sitting in your coffee cup, coin jar, or piggy bank. Happy collecting, and we'll see you in the next episode of RE Coins News.